Hello and welcome everyone, Said here. In this tutorial we are going to see how we can leverage Power Platform AI Builder to extract our invoice details from invoice PDF file and send the invoice details to email. So let's start. As the flow is going to be manually triggered, so we will start with Instant Cloud Flow. We give our flow name, extract invoice, select manually trigger flow, then click create. So this is our flow. Click on the manually trigger flow card, click on add an input. As our input is going to be a file, click on the file, give the file content name such as invoice file, then click on add an action and click on the AI builder. From here we need to select extract information from invoices. Now click on the dynamic content, click see more, then choose the invoice file content bytes. This is the file content that we have entered on manually trigger flow here. Now click on add an action. We are going to select the data operation. So the data operation we are going to add is a create HTML table. Select the data operation, create HTML table. Then on from, select the dynamic content and click body responsive to prediction output result items. So this is coming from our extraction information from invoice card. This is the body of our invoice. Click show all. As a default, the columns is automatic, but for this flow we are going to select custom. Now we are having header and the value. So this is our table that is going to show in our email. So here we can add the header which we want to add from invoice file. We can add what are the details from the invoice we want to add in our table, HTML table, to show in email. For make it faster, I already created a template. So we are going to add this parameter on our header. Amount, description, order date, vendor name, and customer address. So these are the column name we are going to show, and what are the column values we are going to show from our extracted details. For invoice ID, click on dynamic content, select from here. So we are going to add the invoice. We are going to look for invoice ID, so select invoice ID. For the amount, we are going to have amount. description of the invoice. So it must be a line item description. It will show all the extracted description of the invoice. Order date, invoice date, vendor name, then our customer address. So we have already created the HTML table. Now we need to show all these informations on our email. So we click on the add an action, search for send email. For this tutorial, I'm going to select Office 365 Outlook. If you want, you can also select Gmail. So I'm sending to my email address. Now the subject part, we can customize the subject part. Let's say we can write invoice details of, we can add our vendor name so that we can uh, separate the invoice based on the vendor name. On the body, let's say dear sir. Before that, I'm going to add an action between the create HTML table and the send an email. I want to use get my profile is on Office 365 users. So I'm going to use get my profile Why I have added this action? Because I want to show the sender name. For this, I want to use the template I've created. Let's say there's, okay, I'm going to use this template. Now, the invoice ID is going to be our invoice ID, invoice date, then invoice total, then the line items. We are going to select the output that we have created on create HTML table action. As I said, I want to show the sender name. That's why I have leveraged this get my profile action. So for this, I'm using my display name. So we are done. Like we have already gave the name of the file that we are going to upload, then the information that we want to extract, an HTML table we have created to send the details on email as a table, added our get my profile action to show the sender name and the email. Now, if you want to add the attachment and the content, you can also add it from here. Click on the show all, then give a name. It's going to be the file name, and the content is going to be our file content. Now let's save the flow. Now we need to test the flow to see whether it's working accordingly. This is our invoice receipt PDF. Then click on the run flow. Okay, the flow ran successfully. We go to our inbox. So this is the attachment, our invoice receipt. This is the email. This is our invoice ID, the description of the invoice, order date, our vendor name, and the customer address. Then sending by our name, the sender name. So this is how we are going to leverage AI Builder to extract the information from any invoice and send an email the extracted data. We can also leverage our custom model, but for that we need many samples of the invoice and train our custom model and leverage it on Power Automate or Power Apps. So that's all for today. If you like this content, this tutorial, please like and share this tutorial and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much. Goodbye.